Well, howdy. Welcome back. I only did 2 videos last week, sorry about that. But I've been busy. Been keeping busy. Last week I ended up spending a bunch of time doing like house maintenance and mowing and fixing the mower and the whippersnipper, or line trimmer if you're American, I guess. I still have to fix this, but one more thing happened just because it's a pain in the ass of a car. That fell off. So I gotta fix that too. But today I wanted to try and get this thing up in the air, get the suspension partially pulled apart, or at least mostly, and try and see if I can have a look at how low those springs go on their own, whether I'm going to have to cut them or not, and see if they're going to be stiffer or whether they're going to be basically what I've got. I'm hoping they're stiffer, because what's the point of putting lower springs in if it's not stiffer? Because the factory springs are ass. So we'll get a jack under this thing and have a look at that, see if we can't get them in there, and or at least one in, and see what the height difference is just sitting on the ground. I think I might do it this side, the passenger side, and see how it looks, you know. Alright, so car is up off the ground. Next thing we're going to do is pop this bonnet and undo the 3 nuts up the top. Right, so we want to get out those 3 there. Should be nice and easy. Alright, now with those to the side, that one can come down. I will be loosening off our control arm bolt back there and undoing the 2 things down here. Maybe actually, if I undo that, I should be able to drop this strut down enough that I can just get the spring from out of there without having to drop it all the way, because that control arm should drop most of the way down. Alright, so I tried to get enough leverage on it with the other thing still attached at the bottom, but I've just pulled the bolts out because I couldn't get it down far enough. So we're gonna pop this off of there, and I mean, your brake line's still attached there a little bit, so might pop that off of there and get that out while I'm at it, get it all the way out of the car, and then I can work on it nice. Alright, well, I've been hoodwinked by Toyota because that doesn't come out of there. Bastard of a thing. So we can still do it here, we've got plenty of room. That's stressed on there and I don't really like it, but they are new, so I'm sure that they'll be just fine, hopefully. Dang it. Alright, so I took the caliper off to relieve some tension off of those hoses, got it laid up like this, got my spring compressors on, and then it's a matter of doing these up just a little bit so that it compresses. Alright, and there we go, we have a compressed spring. Alright, now this should be safe to take off like so. Whew. Just gonna move away from that side. Whew, there we go, look at that. Safe as houses. Now I never ever put my hand in where the spring compressors are, because I've seen it let go and fuck people up. So never ever go in that top rung there, because it will squash your fingers, and sometimes the bottom rung there as well. Now I've got to undo those and compress the new springs and stick them on here. Although you saw that, right? Oh yeah. I wonder why I want fucking coilovers. That's cooked. So anyway, this will be a useless experiment. Alright, so quick side-by-side comparison. As you can see, the one on the left has more coils on it, which means it's probably going to be tighter. It also looks like it's roughly the same sort of thickness, so I don't expect I'll see much more of a performance gain that way. But it is also that little bit shorter, and those top coils, they're going to be softer, so they're going to compress further quicker. So that one should be roughly what I'm chasing as far as height wise. So this will compress quite a lot, and then it'll basically just be these ones here that I'm sitting on, whereas that one is a pain in the ass all the way to the end, and there's very few coils in it. So okay, so with the assist of the spring compressors, this one's on, nut is done up. I'll put the cap back on, get these spring compressors off, get this all back up in here, and then hopefully it should be good. Alright, so that is back up in there. We're all buttoned off. I'll get this wheel back on, get it on the ground, see how it looks. Right, now wheel is back on. What we're going to do is I'm going to close this bonnet here real quick, because that way we get a good idea at the front of it. Alright, bonnet is down. Right, how low do you think it'll go? I reckon probably an inch or two. Helps if I take it off the jack stand, hey? Alright, now it's off the jack stand, attempt number 2. Yeah, you can definitely see it's lower on one side. Of course, the suspension hasn't really had a chance to settle in yet. Give it a couple of these. Push on it. Ideally I'd move it around a bunch, but yeah, you can sort of see it. It's not that much. Might have to go chopping some springs out of it. So we've got like 3 fingers here. And on this side we have just about 4, so I've lost about yay much out of the height of it. So 3/5 of fuck all actually, which is disappointing considering these are supposed to be lows. That's not even an inch, that's not even half an inch, so that's disappointing. 3 fingers neat there. So, yep, I'm gonna have to pull them back out and cut the fucking things. Either that or I just stick the other one in there and drive around until I can afford some coilovers. Because, you know, hardly gonna notice the fucking difference, so. Well, that obviously didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And I did consider scrubbing the footage and forgetting it ever happened. However, instead I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it all apart again and might see if I can chop those springs a bit, and then I'll do the same to the rear. I might have to try and work out shock absorbers at the same time, because those ones are cooked. Those springs aren't really any sort of stiffer, like they're marginally stiffer, but they're basically the same. So I feel like that was an absolute waste, but I can either pout about it or I can fucking get back in there and get it the way I want it and suck it up. So I think that's going to be the plan. So anyway, that's it for this video. Next one should be me pulling it all the way apart and trying again. Anyway, peace.